Tonight, just 2 months after his release, Kevin Coe, the notorious South Hill rapist, has died. We'll bring you reaction from across Washington state tonight.
The KREM 2 weather impact alert remains in place for snow and possible freezing rain hitting the region tomorrow.
The family of a man who died in the Spokane County jail back in 2023 sues the county and Multicare. Details of the lawsuit and next steps tonight. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We start tonight with weather as we are under a KREM 2 weather impact alert for black ice today and a wintry mix expected tomorrow. Let's get right outside right now to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo for more on what we can expect. Jeremy?
Mark, it's an interesting one. Temperatures sit right at freezing here in town, and a little bit of cloud cover is going to keep us pretty close to it. Dew point sits at 30, so don't expect a giant change overnight. However, we are still going to be down below freezing. That plays a huge role in what we wind up seeing as our next storm system moves in. It starts tomorrow morning, I think, with a few light patches of very, very light precipitation. At that point in time, it is probably going to be a little bit of freezing drizzle, the kind of stuff where it's just a little bit of a mist that freezes as it contacts stuff. Not widespread, but it is possible early in the day. As we move through the day, we're going to see a little more intensity out of that snowfall. Strongest going to be right around the middle of the day, eventually tapering off tomorrow evening. When it turns to snow, it is going to be the kind that falls and melts as fast as it does, with our temperatures in the mid-30s. By Friday, it's more rain than snow, and by the weekend, 40 degrees means it is all coming down as rain in low elevations.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the show tonight. The South Hill rapist, Kevin Coe, is dead just 2 months after being released from McNeil Island. KREM 2's Christian Garza has been following this case today. He is live in the newsroom tonight with what we know and what Spokane County's top prosecutor is saying tonight. Christian?
Well, Mr. Coe's passing was as unimpressive as his life. Now, that is a direct quote from Spokane County Prosecutor Preston McCollum. Now, Kevin Coe died of natural causes this morning around 5:30 after Federal Way police say officers were called to his adult family home for a medical emergency. FWPD says fire personnel on scene were already performing CPR when officers arrived, but Coe was pronounced dead at the scene. His death comes just months after he was released from civil commitment at McNeil Island. Up until October, Coe was considered a sexually violent predator and confined to the state's Special Commitment Center after he was believed to have committed around 40 rapes and sexual assaults in Spokane in the late 70s and early 80s. Coe was released after it was determined his deteriorating physical condition and age meant he could no longer be a threat to the public. During the trial, Shelley Monahan Kane and a handful of other victims spoke about Coe's release. However, Shelley was the only one to give us permission to film her.
Even when he walks out of McNeil Island, he will never be free unless his last breath is what he does by asking God forgiveness.
Following the news of Coe's death, we reached out to Spokane County Prosecutor Preston McCollum since he worked closely with the victims during the trial. He sent KREM to a statement saying, in part, despite the stain he was on humanity, I pray that those who endured his crimes find some level of solace in that he no longer shares the same state of existence as the rest of us. To read McCollum's full statement, just head to our website, krem.com. I also did reach out to Monahan Kane for a statement about Coe's death, but didn't hear back. In the newsroom, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
All right, Christian, thank you very much. Now to some breaking news within the last hour. The Moses Lake School District filed paperwork in Superior Court to try to stop the ongoing teacher strike and force employees back to work. There will be a hearing on that case later this week. Meantime, classes are canceled for a fourth straight day tomorrow in Moses Lake. Right now, teachers are on strike while the Education Association and the school district work on a new contract. Yesterday, the district says it sent a proposal to the Education Association after receiving one from them as well. There are a few things the two still agree on: prep time and funding for educational programs. Adams Tractor announcing today, or yesterday rather, it broke ground on its 6th location in the inland Northwest. That new facility will be near the Spokane Airport. The 9-acre property will feature a 14,000 square foot building, nearly 2,000 square feet of equipment storage and a washing bay, and acres of display space for future growth. The company expects construction to be completed by next fall. Idaho facing another class action lawsuit over cuts to Medicaid, this time over services for patients with severe mental illnesses. Bonneville County Sheriff Sam Holtz, president of the Sheriff's Association, says with several important behavioral health programs being discontinued, more people in crisis end up in jail. Not because they're criminals, but because officers have no other options.
The jails can't say no, and so when folks are brought to us with a criminal charge, however characterized, a lot of times that might be loitering or disturbing the peace or something like that. Those have to be adjudicated, and just making sure that there are other nets in place that help people stay in the community, stay healthy, stay out of the justice system.
Scaling back these programs is meant to reduce costs. However, the Sheriff's Association believes these cutbacks will not save money and will will only fall back on county governments. New at 5 tonight, a Spokane family is suing over the death of their son. They claim Spokane County jailers ignored his pleas for help and watched television as he slowly died in his cell. KREM 2 Shannon Mowdy spoke with the family's attorney.
26-year-old Spencer Worth's family blames Spokane County's jail and Deaconess Hospital for what they believe was his preventable death. Worth collapsed at his mother's home in December 2023, days after being hit by a car. Despite knowing he was wanted for assault, his mother called 911.
No ambulance came. The police arrived.
Family attorney Colin Prince says Worth wasn't immediately booked. His heart was racing 130 beats a minute. He had trouble breathing, low blood pressure, and dizziness. He was sent to the ER at Deaconess.
Spencer also showed blood tests that reflected a heart and a cardiovascular system in extreme distress.
But the family's lawsuit alleges Worth wasn't admitted, never saw a doctor. He was told to sober up, the lawsuit claims, and was taken back to jail.
And he survived approximately another day and a half.
Worth's heart rate stayed abnormally high, the lawsuit shows, until he collapsed in his cell. Prince says he was left alone for upwards of 25 minutes.
The records reflect that a very cursory check was done. And that has been a recurring issue at the Spokane County Jail that has led to numerous deaths.
Another inmate heard his cries for help and wrote to complain guards also heard, looking up but not responding. The lawsuit claims Worth pressed a medical alert button in his cell, but jail staff had muted the alarm.
There's also a visible light that came on, but the two deputies in charge of the medical cell block either didn't notice it or didn't care because they were watching television.
A deputy later found Worth unconscious and covered in his own feces. He was taken back to Deaconess. Prince says staff incorrectly noted overdose at arrival. He was dead 10 minutes later.
He died of a pulmonary embolism. The autopsy revealed that his lungs were full of clots.
The lawsuit claims the condition would have been caught and likely treated with a simple test. Multicare and Spokane County declined to comment. Prince says Worth's family just wants accountability and to keep this from happening to someone else.
They want to make sure that no other family has to receive a phone call that their child has died simply because they were ignored.
Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
I dream about skiing when I'm not skiing, and when I'm skiing, I'm like, man, I wish I could be skiing even more than I am right now.
Well, winter weather means ski resorts are ready to open. After the break, we travel to Sandpoint for one resort's opening day. And in 8 minutes, we track Immigration and Customs Enforcement's next set of operations.